Hi, my name is Xiang Tian, and in the environmental community, I'm known as the person who wears slippers and shorts everywhere I go. And I suspect that as temperatures rise, more of you will join me. So it might seem funny to us now, but I doubt we will be laughing when temperatures in Singapore hit 40 degrees Celsius. We are now in a climate crisis. But the messaging from government and businesses seem to be that if individuals like us all do our part, we can mitigate climate change together. So if my friend was here, he would say, real meh? Households only contribute 6% of Singapore's carbon emissions. Industries contribute 60%. It makes no sense to me that we are told to switch off our lights when not in use. But no one has ever told Jurong Island to switch off their lights. You all wrote postcards to your MPs, but let me save some paper and speak directly to them now. To the government, this is what I have to say. In 2012, you allowed Singapore's first coal-fired power plant to start operating. In 2013, we experienced the most severe haze ever. In 2014, you opened the Jurong Rock Havens, allowing for space to expand Jurong Island and increase our emissions. In 2015, you adopted the Paris Agreement, but you are not on track to meet the aim of limiting temperature rise to less than 2 degrees. In 2016, we witnessed our longest coral bleaching event. In 2017, our MRT tunnels flooded, showing that your adaptation measures don't always work. In 2018, you announced the carbon tax, but slashed it from a proposed $10 to $20 to $5 a ton. And this year, you announced plans to spend at least $100 billion over the next 100 years to adapt to rising sea levels. All these events seem to be connected to climate change, but they have another thing in common. There's nothing that I, as an ordinary individual, could have done about it. But you as the government could have. You could have done something. Climate change is not a looming threat. It is already happening. We are forced to think about it because the climate crisis affects us now. And if we still don't take strong mitigation measures, it will turn into a climate disaster. Oliver is 11 years old, hasn't even taken his PSLE yet. Ellen is 17, hasn't taken her A-levels yet. Komal is 19, hasn't even graduated from university yet. They shouldn't be having to come out here to give speeches because they are worried about a future without a stable climate. Children and youths like them should be free to enjoy their childhood in the day and worry about promos and puberty at night. None of us wants to be worrying about the climate crisis, but we don't have a choice. Let us now take a moment of silence to honor all that we have lost and will lose. So we just took a moment of silence for the climate. But the government has been silent for far longer. The government has been silent on our contributions to climate change. Singapore only wants to take responsibility for the 0.11% of the world's emissions. And that is always the reason cited for our lack of climate action. But we ignore the fact that we are the world's 5th largest refinery export hub, or that the fuel we provide to ships and planes emit almost 3 times of our own national emissions. We don't talk about emissions in other countries for the imported products that we consume, or from the investments that we make. We are happy to reap the economic benefits, but we ignore the carbon emissions that they create. So we must start taking responsibility for the emissions that we should be responsible for, not just the 0.11%. But even for the 0.11%, we need to peak and reduce our emissions as soon as possible. We have to cut coal from our power generation. We need to raise the carbon tax to at least $190 per tonne by 2030. We must move away from fossil fuels. And all of these needs more than just individual action alone. We need systemic change to deal with the climate crisis. We need governments and businesses to act, and we must let them hear our voices. Through emails, forum letters, commentaries, public consultations, meet the people sessions, Facebook comments, whatever you can think of on any platform possible to get the message across that we are in a climate crisis and they must act now. Politicians are right to say that Singapore cannot mitigate climate change alone, but we can make an outsized impact. We can be a model for other countries to follow. We can be a climate leader. But first, we have to take really serious climate action. That means no more talk about carbon intensity, about individual action, and about recycling. There have been 5 speeches before me on the need for climate action. The government doesn't need reminders on what needs to be done. They just have to do it.